Pinkie Pie is the best pony. She just is. I'm sorry to take the words out of Pelea's mouth, but he speaks the truth. Her wild antics, fourth-wall jokes, and energetic personality is something you have to learn to appreciate for who she is. I will admit, I was not very fond of her at first, but trust me when I say how much I greatly underestimated her overall, which wasn't very long anyway. That also includes her character-driven episodes. So far, with the only one exception, every Pinkie Pie-centered episode has been outdone by the staff. They each have their own way of addressing Pinkie at what she does and what she strives for, and suffice it to say, her episode Too Many Pinkie Pies is another inclusion of my amusement, and that especially speaks a lot since this episode was written by Dave Polsky, who was responsible for the infamous Feeling Pinkie Keen. Pinkie Pie gets caught under a small dilemma where multiple things come in hoo for her friends to the point where she has to choose to spend time with. With an idea taken wrongly by Twilight's words of advice, she finds a way to maintain her choices by going to a pond in the Everfree Forest, as told by her honest affiliate, called the Legend of the Miracle, where she can make a clone of herself. However, with the only one clone of herself to fill in her task, she doesn't succeed due to the distraction of Fluttershy's tea party.
Ooh, did you get ice cream? What kinds did they have? Banana Brickle? I didn't make it! I was on my way there and then Fluttershy, yeah, her, she offered something else fun for me to do, a picnic with cute little animals. How could you say no to that? That's what I'm saying! Then I would have missed the super fun thing with applesauce. Applejack. No, I didn't do anything fun at all! Oh, my poor me. There. Tell me what, we just need a couple more Pinkie Pies. Easy peasy. Really? Come on, would I lie to me?
So Pinkie Pie makes more, but with the results of her clones making way more duplicates than she needs to in the first place. Pinkie's fine with it at first until she discovers how rambunctious her clones really are as they run and stir up trouble around Ponyville, as problems for everyone including Pinkie herself begin to spiral out of control. Twilight tries to figure out the real Pinkie before ridding her clones so that way she won't mistake the real Pinkie Pie and send her back to the pond. But because of Pinkie's frustration with the mix-up, she falls under an identity crisis, making things difficult for Twilight. This I can't deny that the writers and Andrea Lemon seem to have way too much fun with. The idea behind multiple copies of Pinkie Pie is just what you expect it to be. Utterly chaotic, over the top, and of course, randomly hysterical. But as predictable as it was, I laughed and smiled non-stop throughout the whole episode. Pinkie has before spoken to herself in many ways, but the fact that she insists on taking a greater advantage of her own self several times over is just not just funny, but intriguing as she begins to learn more outside of herself.
Okay, between the bunch of us, we should have every nook and cranny of fun in Ponyville covered at all times. An unprecedented and massive undertaking. But first, a pop quiz on the names I taught you. Applejack. Fluttershy. Pinkie Pie. Excellent. Okay, let's get on with this, folks. Fan out on 3. 1.
Of course, discussing the humor can never be left out. Multiple shouts of fun from every clone bouncing throughout is just nothing more than just amusing, despite the chaotic scenarios. What also amuses me more is the various postures that I can recognize, including one I remember from A Friend Indeed. Pinkie's head ticking like an alarm clock was, of course, just her being Pinkie Pie. Random. But for some reason, some people find that creepy. To me, it was just an exaggerated way of her getting an epiphany. Adding a G3 reference was one I didn't expect at all. It was said that there was a showing of this on a preview on the Hub, but I never watched it. Again, I was able to tell the writers were having fun. If there's any concern I have, it's Pinkie's mix-up with the clones. The fact that she was the one who duplicated herself, saw her clones make more, and saw that Twilight was getting mixed up with the others, how could Pinkie get confused herself?
So let me guess. You're the real Pinkie Pie.
Heck if I know. Could be any one of us if you ask me. And if I said I was the real Pinkie, you wouldn't even believe me anyway. So just leave me alone. I've got some important poke in the ground with my hoof to do.
And for that matter, how can Twilight not tell the difference when Pinkie herself is wallowed on a cafe table compared to other clones jumping around so frantically?
This is hopeless.
Maybe that one's the real Pinkie.
Please, the real Pinkie Pie never sat that long in one place her whole life.
I'm gonna go ask.
Of course she's gonna say she's the real Pinkie. They all do.
Twilight, maybe it's because Pinkie's very regretful of what trouble she's caused. Pinkie has doubted herself in the past and has even cried. It's not rocket science. That's as much as I can say about this episode. While it isn't the best Pinkie Pie-centered one, it was certainly not a letdown. Pinkie Pie is still Pinkie Pie, and she still learns from the experiences that she encounters. The importance of this episode was the fact that the overall reason behind this was Pinkie didn't want to choose. Having to make a choice over someone else can be pressuring when you have to value each and every one. It's not as common of a message when you think about it. You will eventually stumble upon making crucial decisions in life, and this episode did justice on the moral very well. Ending with this one, Pinkie takes a nap as something fun. Since I've been up behind my reviews and have been doing so much in life, I clearly don't blame her on this one. But until next time, this is Golden Fox, and take care.